Good morning, everyone. It's probably 7:30 a.m. I just woke up and I got my breakfast with a yogurt and some cornflakes, hot tea, also a little piece of apple. And here we are. I'm gonna to explain in this episode. I won't talk about music because I feel the need to talk about travel, especially after I listened to the latest Emma Chamberlain's episode on her podcast, Anything Goes, about travel tips, and I find out that that I agree with Emma for some situations and aspects of traveling, especially traveling alone, but I also had to give her other tips, other suggestions that she could probably appreciate, and explain why I'll give you all of my travel tips, because it's really important to make your travel, when you're traveling, make it easy and the most pleasant and easy way possible. Because when you travel, it's very stressful, and borderline upsetting because it can be really physically and emotionally exhausting. But if you follow and if you learn these kind of tips that I learned traveling during my previous travels, for example, when I was in Cuba, or when I was by myself, or when I was in the south of Asia, for example, in Cambodia or Laos or Thailand, with the three friends of mine. There are a lot of lessons that I learned about traveling, because you simply learn a lot of shit about how to travel in the best way possible, but you have to experience it, all right? So here we are, and there are some advice that I would like to give you with and following the topics and the tip that Emma gave us in her podcast, in her latest episode. And we're starting with the packing advices, and let me tell you about packing advices. Okay, but we are not pro. We both feel kind of weird calling ourselves a pro, but because definitely a lot of people on the planet are traveling more than us, but me, as Emma says, are trying to do our best. Okay, so for example, listen, about packing advice. She says that is the most boring part of travel, but I don't agree at all with her, because for me, packing is the best way to really make me realize I'm leaving, to really make me think about what I'm going to see, what I'm going to do, because you have to do a scheme of the what you have to prepare, for example, from the beauty part of your suitcase or the clothing. So you have to imagine how you spend and where you will spend your days and or probably your holidays, but you have to make more concrete in your mind what you're going to do, what you're going to say. So it's a sort of way to make you feel grounded. Okay, so I'm excited anytime I have to pack my bags. Also, I started to prepare my bags to fill my bags 2 days before, 2 nights before, in order that I have just 1 day or probably 1.5 day to review, to change my the things that I fill my bags with. So I have to throw away some clothing if I decided that I find out that those kind of things could be useless for the vacation. So in this way, I will able, or also you will be able to fill your bags, your suitcase with a lot of important things, with the most important things and useful things that you are going to use, okay? So Emma recommends packing outfits rather than random pieces of clothes, so you are sure that you won't pack useless pieces of clothing that won't match, for example, other things in your suitcase. See what I'm saying? But I prefer to pack in following a color scheme. But also she says that you can do in this kind of thing, but in this kind of way, because it's really easy for you to mix and match all your clothes, socks, shoes, bags, everything you could put in your bags, okay? And in fact, you can make even more outfits rather than pack also 3 or 4 kinds of outfits that you choose before. And obviously, in fact, she says mixing and matching really leaves room for endless possibilities, and it's a truth. So, next, packing tips. If there's something that is just not fitting in your bags, okay, so when I used to, this is a point on which I agree with Emma, because when I did my first travel with 3 friends of mine in 2015, in the summer of 2015, we decided to go to explore 3 places: Cambodia, Laos, and Thailand. So we have to leave and we have to pack one big backpack, okay? Because you have to, because backpack is really more comfortable than take some kind of luggages or suitcase. So you are more comfortable with a backpack, in which you put all your things, all your clothes, shoes, bags, anything you need, food, for example, anything you need in one place, okay? And so we have to fill this big backpack with a lot of clothes, because we stayed 3 weeks, all right? But after that trip, I find out that I put too much clothes, too much t-shirts, too much shorts, because you don't really need a lot of things, a lot of clothes when you're traveling. You have to figure out which clothes are better for you, which clothes are useful for you, and which other are not. So the second tip that Emma gave us is to roll all our clothes and to roll anything, okay, in order to feel your suitcase in the best way, to fit the most things you can possibly fit in your suitcase by rolling your clothes. And I agree with her, okay, for the reason that I told you, because when I have to backpack to prepare when I was packing my backpack to leave, also that backpack I used when I was leaving to Cuba, I prepared the same backpack but was filled less than when I fill it to go to Thailand, for example, because I learned that I don't really need a lot of things, and I learned that when you travel, you don't need a lot of things. You need just the most essentials, but not all your wardrobe, not all your shoes that you have at home. Okay, so this is an important fact that you probably will not agree with me, but because all my friends, when have to prepare their or have to pack their suitcase, go and have some kind of crisis because they want to put on and to fill their suitcases with the most possibly stuff they could have used. For example, 3 kind of dresses, 4 pair of shoes. Why you have to take with you all those kind of things? Okay, so we arrive at the third, let's see, an argument about the third tip that Emma gave us, packing. So the first one is to backpack and the first things is to put some not kind of random clothes or pieces, but make outfits. But I prefer, for example, to prepare and to packing clothes and shoes and kind of things and all this stuff following a color scheme. Okay, so the first tip is this one. Next tip is about roll your clothes. Okay, so when I packed for Cuba, or also for example, for last summer I went to Alicante in Spain. I rolled every kind of stuff I put in my luggage, and I didn't have with me my backpack because I had to spend less days, so just 2 weeks probably, but I learned to not fit my suitcase with a lot of things, so it was enough. Okay, so I live with just one bag, with just one suitcase and one little bags and one little backpack. Okay, and that was enough. Also, The third